Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. On this video I'll be teaching you how to cut and sew a straight pants with side and front pockets. Okay, so I have my tape with me, I have my chalk, my scissors, my ruler and my French curve. With that being said, let's get started. So the starting point will be the waistline. Okay, I don't have to mark it again. From my starting point, there from the waistline to the hip line is 10 inch. Okay, and to my crotch line is 11 inch. Okay, 11 inch, and to the knee length is 19 and a half. Okay, 19 and a half, and the full length of the pants is 42 plus half plus 1 inch sewing allowance, make it 43. Okay, 43. So I'll rule it out. Okay, I'll rule the lines out. So we need these 4 lines to get our straight pant. Okay, we need these 4 lines. The next thing you need to do, okay, is to measure 1.5 inch inward from the waist line. Okay, 1.5 inch, and at the full length you measure 1.5 inch as well. One and a half inch and 1.5 inch. Okay, then we connect. You connect from the waist to the hip. Okay, you connect waist to hip, and from the full length to the hip as well. So I'll take my French curve to align it. Okay, if you don't have French curve, you can use free hand. Just align it with free hand if you don't have French curve. 1.5 inch. Okay, from the full length, 1.5 inch from the hip length, connect together. You need to start taking the measurements now. You divide your waist by 4, then whatever you have, you place it there. Then I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance. You also divide your hip by 4, then you place it there, divide by 4, place it there, and add your sewing allowance. Okay, I'm adding 1 inch. You're going to divide your tie line by 2, tie line or hip lap by 2. Okay, you place it where the crotch line is and mark, then add allowance. Then you connect. connect them together. Okay. So you have these 4 lines. While cutting, you have your waistline divided by 4. Okay, hip divided by 4. Lap or thigh divided by 4. So determine what you have to get your down part in the crotch line. So it all depends on how wide you want it to be. Okay, I'm measuring what I have in the thigh line and place it at the full length. So see, it's marking 11. Okay, mark 11. So it all depends on you. Then you mark the same thing straight because it's a free pant. Okay, it's a free pant. Then you connect together. So this is it. So it's as simple as that. Then from the waistline you measure 1 inch downward. You slant it to meet with the other line, okay? Where you mark down 1.5. Just watch. So you can see what I'm doing. Slant it. So this is the waistline, 1.5. Connect together. Okay. So let's to start cutting now. So please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, do where to subscribe, okay? So whenever I upload a video, you will be the first to be notified. And don't forget to like, share and comment. Thanks so much for watching, guys. So the tutorial is beginner friendly. A beginner can easily cut this, though there are different methods of cutting pants, but this is so easy. Even beginner can cut this without making a mistake. So this is it. I've cut it out. The next thing is to cut out the back. So I've placed the front block on the back. Okay, like I've placed on the other material. Now you measure 2 inches right there. 2 2 inch. You connect. Okay, you measure to it at the crotch line as well. Then 1 inch downward. Okay, at the knee line 1 inch, at the full length 1 inch. You connect together. So from the back you measure ½ inch, like from the waistline now, that place, just as you see me, measure ½ inch right there and connect to the hip. Okay, you connect to the hip body. From the hip downward is going to align, and you slant it to meet with the ½ inch. You connect that place as well. Just connect all the lines together. Now use your French curve. Use your French curve to connect the waist straight to the crotch line. So people usually made mistake while cutting this. Use your French curve. If you don't have a French curve, you can use freehand. Okay. French curve, you just measure 2 inch right there, then connect straight to the waist. Okay, 2 inch, as you can see. If you don't have a French curve, let me adjust it. Connect that to the waistline, from waist to hip straight, then the other from crotch line downward we align together. So now it's time to cut out our pants. Okay. So cutting a pants is as simple as this. Please, if you find this video interesting, do like, comment and share, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you. So this is it. I'm done cutting it out. The next thing is to cut is to sew these front pockets now. You need the front block to sew the front pocket. What you will do now is to mark 3-inch inward from the waistline. Okay. Easiest way to cut front to sew a front pocket. Then you measure 7-inch downward. That is 3 by 7. Okay. 3 by 7. Just fold it inward. Now let's roll it out and fold it inward. So we are going to replace that while sewing the pocket on it. So I'm using this pocketing material. Okay. I'm going to measure it 10. The length will be 10 and the width is going to be, I'm leaving ½ inch up there because I will cut it off. 10. Okay. Measuring 10 by 8. Okay. From that place you measure 2 inch inward. Okay, 2 inch. And use your hands to connect. Just connect it to meet up with the 10-inch length. Cut out the excess. I'm going to be placing the fabric on the pocketing. The two sides of the pocketing, I will place the fabric on it. This is it. I'll place it right there. Sew it and hem it inward. Okay. Therefore, let's cut it out. If you don't understand what I'm doing, just watch. Okay, you will understand perfectly. Just watch what I'm doing. Remember, we fold 3 inch by 7 inward, right? I'm cutting out the pocketing as well, also with the main fabric. Just watch. I will cut it out, and I'll also cut out the one I fold in from the main fabric. I also cut out the main fabric on. Okay, now I'll go and sew. I will sew in the fabric on the pocketing. Okay, that is the pocket. I will sew in the fabric, trim out the excess. Just sew it on it, trim out the excess. I will do the same for the other and get back to you. Okay, the both sides are going to sew it. That is if you are not using your main material for the pocket. That's the reason I'm doing this now. So I've gone ahead to sew the fabric on the pocket because I'm not using the main material. That is why. If you're using the main material, you don't need to place another same material on it again. You understand? So now I'll go ahead and place it in that place. That is the side that I cut out 3 by 7 inch. I'll sew with 1/2 inch. Remember, front facing front, sew with 1/2 inch. Then close the back. I'll get back to you. So this is it. I've gone ahead to sew it and I've also top stitch the material. I've sewn the back together as well. This is it. You can see how neat it is. So to sew the upper part right there, so it won't be falling off, and tag that place as well. Now it's for us to close the crotch lines. Okay, I'm using 1/2 inch to close it. I'll use 1/2 inch to close it right there. Then I'm using 1/2 inch. I will get back to you. So I've gone ahead to sew it together. Okay, this is it. I've gone ahead to sew it together. The next thing is to sew the back on it. So you sew the sides together now. So you can see front facing front. While sewing, you will start with 1 inch from the waist. 1 inch from the waist. When you get to the waist, you continue with the hip. You continue with 1/2 inch. 1 inch from the waist. From the hip downward, you continue with 1/2 inch. So I've gone ahead now to sew it. I've sewn the two sides together. This is it. Okay, now is to sew the side pockets. Okay, I'll fold it in that way. By the time I fold and iron, it will be 7.5 by 7. Okay, okay, 7.5 after folding. Okay. So bring in the back now. Sorry, the pocket cover. Okay, I'm going to cut out 3 inch. I'll cut it out. Cut out 3 inch. By the time I use 1/2 inch to sew it, it will remain 2.5. Okay. it out and make sure the cover aligns well with the main pockets. It has to align. So I'll go ahead now and sew it round, iron it. I'll sew the cover, then iron it and get back to you. So I've gone ahead to iron them. This is it. I fold it in and iron, so that I will just place it directly on the fabric. Okay, like 7 by 7.5 inch, like I said earlier. This is how it will look after sewing on the fabric. So you open up your material. I'm using 14 inch. From the waist, you measure down to 14 inch. Alright, at the midpoint, that is where you sew the side together. 14 inch. And I'll also mark ½ inch for the pocket cover. Then you place it. Make sure it aligns well at the middle. Then I'm going to sew it round. Remember, we're not sewing the upper part, we are sewing the two sides and the down parts. Okay. Then that ½ inch is for the cover. Then you sew. After sewing, then you cover it and top stitch. I will do that and get back to you now. Okay, after sewing, you top stitch. Get back to you. So this is it, guys. This our pocket is ready, right? You can see how neat and beautiful it is. Okay, the next thing is to sew the back. All right, we sew the crotch now. I'll start with 1 inch from the waist. When you get to the crotch line, I will use ½ inch. Remember, we use ½ inch at the front. All right, so I will use ½ inch right there. I'll go and sew it now and get back to you. So I've gone ahead to sew it now. Okay, the next thing is to sew the inner part. Make sure the crotch line aligns, that middle part that I'm touching, it aligns very well. Okay, then you sew straight down with 1 inch, because that is the allowance I created for it, 1 inch. Okay, make sure it aligns well. You sew the two sides with 1 inch straight down. Okay, I'll go and do that now. Sew with 1 inch, remember. I'll go and sew it and get back to you. So this is it. You can see how neat our trouser is now. Okay, you can see our trouser is come out so neat. The next thing now is to pipe the waistline. I'm going to put elastic at the back. Sorry, I didn't say that at the beginning. This is 1 inch that I'm using to pipe it round, but the back I will put elastic because there is no zip. You notice I did not put zip. So I will pipe it round. I will also fold in the down parts, then come and show you the final look of our pants. Okay, come and show you the final look of our pants. Thanks so much for watching, guys. This is the final look. Thanks so much for watching.